Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Today, we're going to be taking a look at the third installment of that Hannah interview, where she's being interviewed by that super enthusiastic person, Kelsey Dara, who used to work for BuzzFeed. Be forewarned, when someone is that enthusiastic, it sucks the energy and life force right from my body, like a succubus. So I may appear to be unconscious or even not breathing at various times throughout this. Don't be alarmed. Let us proceed with the applying of comb to mustache. Alright, so where we left off, they were talking about baldness and heart attacks or something. I was too busy informationing the history to properly pay attention. Look at the freeze frame right here. This freeze frame perfectly encapsulates both of these individuals. Look at Kelsey on the left. She's like, yes, that would be wonderful. And then Hannah on the right, like, and then... I'm so dumb. Let's go.
And by the way, the same thing is true for fatness. Right? There are so many things that... Right. There are so many third factors at play when it comes to weight and health. Another good example of this, just in terms of correlation versus causation, is it's been well established for a long time that there's a very strong correlation between race and negative health outcomes. But what we've learned over the last 10, 20-ish years is it's actually not race, it's racism that is causing... Yeah.
Wait, what? Racism is causing negative health outcomes? Dude, shut up. Look at this chick on the left. She's like, yeah. I can see racism causing negative health outcomes if somebody is, like, beating you to death because of your race or something. But other than that, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. They always have to be bringing up all these marginalized groups and stuff to try to lend some sort of legitimacy to their argument, but it doesn't. It doesn't at all. So negative health outcomes that used to be associated with race, we've decided, no, that's not true. Black people don't get glaucoma more because they're black. It's because of racism.
It is that allostatic load, right? It's that constant stress and stigma that you experience when you are the victim of prejudice.
All right, hold on. Let us, for just a moment, let's just watch Kelsey's head as Hannah speaks. I'm having a hard time paying attention to Hannah because I'm distracted by Kelsey's face.
Prejudice and discrimination. And that is actually the more likely culprit when we're looking at the correlation between race and negative health outcomes. And the same thing is true for fat people. Fat people experience immense stigma, prejudice, and discrimination. We are
Okay, I don't know if you've noticed, but I'm adding a yes for every head nod that Kelsey does. Dude, I have never seen somebody in more agreeance with anything in my life. This chick is so agreeable, bro. I need Kelsey in my corner, dog. She is an incredible hype beast. You're up there, you're giving a speech, you're like, yeah, so fat acceptance, and she's behind, she's like, yeah. You know when somebody's rapping and like they have somebody behind them that just says every other word that they say, and it's like the most annoying freaking thing ever. Like you made it famous as a rapper and you decided to bring all your homies on stage, but they can't rap or anything. So you're like, yeah, I was going down the street and I thought that I would meet this guy and he would give me the beef or what, like they're saying every other word with you and it's completely annoying and it adds nothing to the performance. That's what this is. But I would really love a hype beast like her in my corner.
Routinely denied healthcare. My story is a great example of that. Yes. Tons of weight.
Oh my God, Kelsey, you are a bobblehead. Jiminy Jillikers, man.
And you know what? You know what leads to poor health outcomes? Being denied healthcare.
Sure does.
Not getting health care or not getting good health care, that sure will decrease your health outcomes.
Why do you need health care, period? What would you do if there wasn't a thing called a doctor? It's a good thing we live in the modern world where you can just go to the doctor all the time for all of your ailments. What would you do if there was no such thing as a doctor and you had to take care of your own health? You had to eat properly, exercise, come up with your own home remedies if you sprain something. What would you do then? Healthy people don't need to go to the doctor.
That's for sure. Wow. We oftentimes don't even have the correct types of equipment. Like people take our blood pressure with the wrong size cuff all the time, which constantly is leading to false.
Kelsey, stop. I can't even pay attention, honestly. It is so distracting seeing Kelsey just go like this and interrupt Hannah the whole time. Hannah's like, so we're about to, and Kelsey's like, yeah, I know, this is true, Queen, this is right, Queen. Is this what they call active listening? Might I recommend passive listening to you in the future, where you just sit there and listen to the words that are coming to you?
High readings, that's a problem. There are so many different third factors at play when it comes to weight and health, but rather than looking at any of those and analyzing them, people just sort of...
All right, Kelsey, stop moving your head. I'm sorry, guys. This is really distracting me. I can't believe it. This is so fake. This is the fakest, most patronizing interview that I've ever seen in my entire life. It's like if I go to show up for an interview. All right, guys, I'm here for the interview. I'm the Cynical Dude. Let's, ask me some stuff about me, yada, yada, yada. All right, Cynical Dude, tell us a little bit about yourself. For a long time, the main thing that motivated me was... Yeah? Really? Oh my God, I can't believe it. Really? This is crazy. The thing that motivated me was the real thing that really motivated me was... Really? Really? This is crazy. Please continue. I am definitely listening. I am listening. And then I decided I didn't want to live anymore. And that's when I threw the rope up over the swing set and put the noose around my neck. Oh my God, this is incredible. That is so inspiring. Thank you so much for doing this.
Make the leap. Well, it's because you're fat.
Right. And
it's just because of your weight.
Instead of looking at the system and the people putting these things into practice, we're looking at the people and blaming people.
Oh, we should be blaming the whole system for your lack of effort and self-control regarding your own personal weight. Of course, it's not your fault. It's not even the doctor's fault. It's the whole damn system. The whole system is out of order. Frickin' hospitals. I didn't realize that hospitals were going around trying to keep obese people down for profit.
Totally.
What I was considering too when you were, and our producer's name is Hannah, so I'm like, Hannah, make sure you clip up that one section.
You have a producer for this? What? Why do you need a producer for this?
Like, about how amazing you said it's not race, it's racism. Like, it's not fat people, it's fat phobia.
Yeah.
Right, no. None of that's true. Quit trying to blame other people for your shortcomings.
And to be like,
Yep.
maybe like a black woman with chronic pain who is also pregnant, it's like, no wonder we're experiencing so many deaths for that identity group, because we're not.
What? Who brought up identity groups? Stop trying to pander to what you perceive to be marginalized groups. It just makes you look silly. So we're talking about health and fitness and fat phobia and yada yada yada, and all of a sudden you start bringing up black people. Again. They're always doing that, dude. Well, I did think that you were full of crap up until this point, but then you mentioned black people, so I'm all ears now.
We're not changing the thing that's actually the problem, which is the system.
What's wrong with the system? They say, hey, you're a little obese there, Chief. You should lose weight or you're going to have negative health outcomes. What else could it possibly be? There's no changing that. If you changed that at all, it would be for the worse.
We're blaming
Absolutely.
the people. And there was even something...
Yeah, we shouldn't be blaming people for their own bodies. You're not in control of your own body.
Recently that I had read about, like, taking blood when we're measuring, like, when you go get your hormones checked, or cortisol, which, like, plays a huge factor in weight. And...
Right, and who controls the amount of cortisol that your body has? You, by what you eat and how you exercise and this and that and the other thing.
They're doing blood drawing rather than spit swapping, and if you're afraid of needles, what's going to happen right before someone sticks you with the needles? Your cortisol...
Your veins going to contract.
Yeah, and your cortisol is going to shoot up, and your readings are going to be off. And it's like, we're just now recognizing, like, even the blood cuff thing. I remember, or the blood pressure cuff thing, I just remember hearing that, like, pretty recently. And our biases, our fat phobia has...
Our biases... If your arm doesn't fit in the blood pressure cuff, your blood pressure is off the charts and you are insanely unhealthy. Period. 100% of the time, there's not going to be one single outlier as a human being on this entire planet that is not insanely unhealthy if their arm can't fit in the blood pressure cuff. You have bigger problems, my friend. You need to get your priorities straight. My arm doesn't even fit in the thing that's meant to take my blood pressure. Because... fat phobia in the medical field and the systemic blah, 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 blah. What we need to do is change the entire world because I have no self-control. Can you imagine like going to sit on a public toilet and the toilet shatters underneath you and your first thought is, man, these toilets are nuts. They need to get stronger toilets. Bro, that would be the moment where I just start crying as a man. Unless I'm a normal weight, that's going to disturb the hell out of me, right? Like, you'll know if you're a normal weight. If the toilet shatters underneath you at my current weight, I'd be like, what the heck? What is this thing made out of frickin' paper mache? What the hell? But like, if you're the slightest bit overweight as you perceive it, and you just shattered a toilet, now you just realize like, oh, I'm not just a little overweight. I am so overweight that I shattered a toilet. Personally, I would curl up in a ball on the floor and just start crying at that point, because there's no rationalizing your way out of that. Like when you're breaking infrastructure that is pretty dang solid, when you go to the salon and you break the salon chair, or to the barber and you break the barber chair, those are industrial chairs. There's all sorts of pneumatics and hydraulics and crap going on in there, and you broke it. That should be a serious wake-up call.
It's been cemented for hundreds of years of medical practicing, and so it's a lot of unlearning and checking your own internal fat phobia, including racism and
right, of course, throw that in there. Oh, now I believe you.
Phobia and Islamophobia, among other things. But what
did you just bring up? Racism, transphobia, Islamophobia? So if you actually had anything relevant or important to say, anybody with a brain has stopped listening at this point. As soon as you brought up race and Islamophobia, what the fuck are you talking about, dog? What the fuck are you talking about? The reason why Hannah can't lose weight is because of racism and Islamophobia. By the way, they're just trying to throw as many isms and phobias in there as possible so that your brain will turn off and you will just absorb their message.
How can we do that as us, as the people that want to change, right? Like, we want to be allies, we want to be the activist. Where do we start? Where we see the problem, and now we go, okay, I'm going to consume the podcast, I'm going to consume the books.
Consume. Bruh. So the way that we may fight fat phobia is by buying all the stuff that you're selling. Okay. So I should listen to Hannah's podcast, I should buy her books, and I should go out on a limb to fight for her, even though she doesn't put in 2 seconds of fighting for herself. No, this is good. There is an insane level of narcissism that I just don't get with this whole thing. Like, hey guys, if you want to help me and be my ally, here's what you can do. Who said I wanted to help you or be your ally? Why don't you listen to the things that I have to say and do what I say instead? Oh no, you just want me to listen to you and do what you say. Well, I disagree. How about you become my ally and do what I say and consume my content? I like money.
And what's next? Like, how do we do the work within ourselves?
What the hell?
Shout out to BetterHelp for sponsoring this podcast. My confidants, you guys.
Yeah, well, I'm a big believer that the internal work and the external work need to be happening simultaneously.
All right, well, you better get to work then. This is going to require a lot of physical effort. You're going to sweat a lot. You're going to burn a lot of calories.
And so what that means is that, right, doing the work of deconstructing our own biases.
What does that mean? Is anyone else getting sick of random people telling them to deconstruct your internal biases and all this stuff? You have this kind of ism or this kind of phobia, and you need to change the way you think about things. No, I don't. Stop trying to tell me to deconstruct and change the way I look at the world. Now, you guys may have seen the world through this lens, but we want you to see it through this one. No, I'll see it through the lens that I've been seeing it through. It's doing just fine.
If you're a person in a fat body, deconstructing your own internalized oppression, right?
Deconstructing your own internalized oppression. Right, so stop oppressing yourself internally, meaning stop eating all this food that's putting you in a body that's oppressive and you can't do anything. You can't climb the rope because of the body that you gave yourself, not because of society and a systemic problem. This is literally 100% within your control, and you're trying to blame the world and trying to make me become an ally to fight on your behalf when you won't even fight for yourself. You must be smoking whatever Kelsey is smoking.
And how that looks in your life. And then also fighting.
Uh-oh, here we go with the head nods again. Let's go. I'm going to count them.
To change these systems, right? That's
2,
the external work.
3,
fighting to
4,
change these
5,
policies.
6, 7,
because
8, 9,
I mean,
10.
there's
Sorry, I'll stop counting. I literally get so distracted by that, dude. I swear. It is damn near impossible to listen to Hannah speak when this chick on the other side just like doing all this stuff. It's very distracting, man. I don't know if this person still works for BuzzFeed or what. Maybe she was too BuzzFeedy for BuzzFeed, because she's like, this is BuzzFeed exemplified. If you were to take BuzzFeed and cram that ideology into human form, it would look something like Kelsey.
There's so many things that need to change, but the number one thing that needs to change is that discrimination based on weight needs to be made illegal in all 50 states.
Who gets to decide what is discrimination based on weight? You're literally trying to turn the world into WALL-E, aren't you? They're trying to make the world just nothing but delusions, and the truth is an abominable thing.
Is it not?
Because it's no.
Is it not illegal to discriminate people based on their weight? What does that even mean? Of course it's illegal. If you go for a home loan and they're like, no, you're too fat. Yeah, that's illegal. If you go for a job and they're like, we can't have this job, you're too fat. Yeah, that's illegal. All kinds of discrimination in various forms is already illegal. She means she wants it to be illegal for a doctor to tell you to lose weight. She literally wants a doctor thrown in jail for caring about your health and speaking the truth. And that's the ironic part about most of the people in this movement and similar movements. They come waving the flags of diversity and acceptance and we all need to be treated equal and blah, 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 blah. But what they really believe is censorship, tyranny, and control. If you say something that we disagree with, we have the right to lock you up and shut your mouth.
Currently in the United
States. What?
Yeah.
What? Kelsey is losing her mind. She's like, what? It's not illegal to discriminate against overweight people.
Yep. So currently in the United States, discrimination based on weight is illegal in the state of Michigan and in Washington, D.C. and 6 municipalities.
Okay. And how do you enforce that? I could just not hire you and make up any reason why I didn't hire you. I could just not do the surgery on you and make up any reason. So it's funny when you try to force people to think like you and pass all these laws. You can't force anybody to like you or respect you.
And that's it. That's it. It's perfectly legal in the rest of the country.
In what sense? Like I said, people can discriminate against you for any reason and then just say it was whatever. All these laws do is annoy everybody because anybody could just get around it. I could just be like, yeah, I didn't hire you because I didn't like your resume. It had nothing to do with your weight. But it did have to do with your weight. It was all because of your weight. You can't stop anybody from doing anything. You can pass all the laws you want. People are still going to treat you however the hell they want to treat you. You can't force them to treat you this way or use this sort of language when they're talking about you. So you're just going to have to become confident in yourself and learn how to deal with criticism.
Is this, like, I haven't even heard this in media or, like, political conversations, which I know you definitely were involved in. Like, where do we, like, are we just not asking our...
Like, first of all, what does this law even mean? You can't discriminate on people because of their weight. In what context? You go to the doctor and he says, we can't do the surgery because you probably will stop living. And then because of this new law, he has to do the surgery? Or he has to prescribe you medication instead of telling you to lose weight first? Or what? What does this law look like?
Are candidates these questions? Like, are we just not bringing it to the forefront?
I mean, it's certainly not prioritized in political discourse, right? Because
because you'll get laughed off the damn podium if you go up there and make, we need to make anti-discrimination laws for fat people. And everybody just starts booing and laughing and telling you to get the hell off the damn stage.
First of all, there are a lot of people in like very mainstream progressive spaces who think that essentially fat people are deserving of the abuse and discrimination that we receive.
You're deserving of the body that you put yourself in.
Like, even in quote woke spaces, fat phobia is extremely prevalent.
Because your weight is completely within your control. So when you go into woke spaces where people are talking about race and disabilities and all this stuff that is completely out of their control, and you start talking about how I too am a victim because of my weight, everyone's going to look at you like this. Little side eye like this. Maybe a little look down to the side. Psh, psh.
And so it is not a topic that is discussed intelligently. It's not a topic that's discussed empathetically. It's
a topic that's discussed logically, because emotions have no place in this thing. Your emotions are what got you to this size, and your emotions are what have you continuing to fight this battle that is completely meaningless.
Any sense. And so even people who consider themselves to be quite progressive oftentimes have really deeply rooted fat phobia. And so I think there is some of that where it's just like literally not being discussed because people don't really see it as a real issue, which is bonkers.
Yeah.
Because it's not a real issue. It's a personal issue. If you can't get your weight under control, that's you. That's all you. You're spitting into the wind.
Given how much research there is about the types of discrimination fat people experience. And then
Here's a little pro tip for all of you. If you go somewhere and you feel like you're being discriminated against or whatever, just don't go there. Go somewhere else. Protest with your wallet, right? Don't give them your business. Go somewhere else.
I also think that there's financial resistance, right? Like fat phobia is extremely profitable.
Yes, it is.
Especially when it comes to healthcare. Like for example,
hell yeah, it's very profitable. If you keep these people sick with this food and then you keep treating them for these illnesses that they could easily cure themselves, yeah, it's very profitable. Big Pharma's profiting, the food industry is profiting, everybody's profiting. The diet industry is also profiting.
Example, in my own story with my spinal surgery, 30 seconds after telling me that he would not be willing to do the surgery on me unless I lost weight, he then said, but you're in luck because we have an in-house weight loss program.
No!
No! Oh no. They were going to help you lose weight, those bastards.
So we're going to refer you to that, right? And so this is like, by the way, this is like old-timey scam tactics.
You understand that by helping you lose weight, the hospital has just cut themselves off from enormous profit. Obese people are constantly there. Almost every one of your videos is complaining about how they didn't treat you right at the hospital. All this fat phobia is always taking place at the doctor's office. If they were using scam tactics, they would be trying to make you gain weight so that they could keep treating you for all of your preventable illnesses. They were so willing to help your health that they were willing to cut out profit for themselves. If you lose weight and get healthier, they are going to lose out on massive profits, obviously, because obese people are unhealthy and they're constantly at the doctor. Sorry for my baby crying outside. So if anything, this is the only place that's not trying to scam you, and you're calling it a scam. They're like, what? You want me to lose weight so I won't have to be here all the time? You're really trying to rip me off, man. You charlatans.
It's like the people who like put nails in the middle of the road and then sell tires.
Right.
What? Because they wanted to help you lose weight. That's the equivalent of putting nails in the road and selling tires. I know, because if you did lose weight, you would be in such disrepair, you would be miserable. They're trying to scam me by giving me a free weight loss program and making it so that they won't profit off of me anymore and I will be a free human being. You literally have everything exactly opposite wrong. They try to help you. You're like, they're trying to hurt me. If they tried to hurt you, then you'd be like, they're helping me. Yeah, if they said, hey, go gain a bunch of weight, you're fine. You would call that help, even though that's actually hurting you. That's about all we have time for today. This will take a couple more parts for me to sit all the way through this thing. And I keep getting distracted by Kelsey's head movements and by Hannah's lies. Both of those things together are just the most distracting thing ever. So I'm trying to stay focused, and we will get through this sucker eventually. There's going to be another part, and maybe even a part after that. Anyway, that about does it. Thanks for watching, commenting, liking, and subscribing. And I'll see you in the next one.